Hey rollerbladers, welcome back. Thanks for being here. So you may know, if you've been following the channel, that I've been doing some more big wheel skating. I bought the FRX 310, 3 by 110 millimeter kind of urban skates by FR Skates. And I've been doing a lot of like urban skating, a lot of like distance, fitness skating. It's been really fun while I kind of recover from my injuries that I sustained during aggressive rollerblading. So anyway, I was on YouTube the other day and the inline speed skating legend, Joey Mantilla, one of his videos popped up on my feed. This one right here. And if you don't know who Joey Mantilla is, definitely go check out his channel right here. Give him a subscribe. He's an absolute legend. But the video was about the technique, the pushing technique of the double push. And I have some experience with this, like 11 years ago, 12 years ago, when I did a little bit of kind of dabbled in speed skating for a little bit. So I'm not completely unfamiliar with this technique, and I've been practicing it more lately, and something kind of popped in my head. So let me back up. If you're unfamiliar with the double push technique, he has a wonderful video on it. Go check it out. The technique, as opposed to just the standard kind of pushing of rollerblading, kind of the standard technique of just pushing from side to side, the double push kind of crosses that midline of your body, utilizing the outer edge of your wheels to kind of further compress your wheels and transfer more of that power and energy to the ground, resulting ideally in more speed, more power, more acceleration, etc. And so what I want to do today is test out that theory, at least for myself. And I don't claim to be the ultimate expert on the double push, but I want to see, at least given my technique, how it differs and if I can achieve a greater speed using the double push as intended. So what we're going to do, I have the app called Strava. And if you're unfamiliar with Strava, it's just kind of like a social media fitness tracker app that, you can track your runs, bikes, swims, and also inline skating. And so I've been doing that lately, and it will record. Of course, it's GPS, it's not completely perfect, but it will record your average speed, your max speed, which is what we're gonna be using today. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna go over to the parking lot right next to where I live, and we're gonna do 3 runs of each. We're gonna do 3 runs using the kind of the normal traditional technique of pushing, and then we'll do 3 runs with the double push. And I should be clear, just to kind of make it fair, we're gonna do one and then the other. So it's gonna be normal push, 1 round, rest, and then double push, rest. And then do that 2 more times so that it's not like I get all my 3 out of the way here of the normal pushes, and then now I'm tired, and then the double pushes are slower, right? So ideally this should be as fair as possible. And again, I'm gonna be mindful of trying to give the exact same amount of effort each time and not trying to game the system. So anyway, if you do end up liking the video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Really appreciate it. Consider subscribing to the channel if you like the rollerblading content, and hit that bell to know exactly when we go live here on the channel so that you can come hang out with us, because it's really fun hanging out, watching skate videos and talking about roller skating, rollerblading, roller booting, all of it. Anyway, without further ado, let's get them laced up and go check it out. All right, so we're out here at the said parking lot. I just tested out the Strava app just to make sure everything works okay, and just kind of did 1 run. So this is 1/10 of a mile right here. Did 1 run just to see, if it would work, as far on the app at least, and so it did. Max speed of 20 miles an hour, just using kind of the single push. We're gonna start off with the normal push for this first go, then we'll do double push, and we'll alternate until we've done each one 3 times. We're going into the wind a little bit, so hopefully these 3 goes here will kind of even out the wind impact. I'm gonna try to use the same arrow positioning on both one and try to keep it as fair and objective as possible for our little test. So, without further ado, let's get the first run done. And we're gonna knock out all 6 runs, and then we're gonna go back to the house because Strava takes a little bit to kind of process those and kind of upload them to the app. We'll knock out all 6 runs, then we'll head back to the house and then take a look and see what we find out. So let's get the first one in the books here. Goodness. Sprinting always makes my voice raspy. Okay, that's the end of all 3 rounds. Strava captured all the data, I double checked. So let's head back to the house and analyze. Okay, we're back from the test runs. So let's take a look at our Strava app and see how we did. So I've just labeled these normal and double. So for normal, the first run on normal here, we can see down kind of in the bottom right there, max speed of 22.3 miles an hour for the very first run on normal push. For double push, number 1, you can see max speed, it says 30.4. And I should mention that it was pretty windy. The wind was really a little bit unpredictable. I still think it was very much I think it all shook out in the end. And again, this isn't completely accurate. So, but we had 30.4 on the first go. Seriously doubt that's accurate. Very seriously doubt that's accurate. For the second go on normal, we have a max speed of 22.6. And then for the double push second run, we have max speed 25.3, which I think is probably a little bit more in line with reality. And then for normal push number 3, 22.7 max speed. And then for double push number 3, 23.6 miles an hour for max speed. And so when we average those up, for average normal mile per hour, that averages up to 22.5 miles an hour. And then for double push speed, that averages up to 26.4 miles per hour across the 3 goes, which makes, at least in this test, the double push 17.5% faster. And then just for fun, I was just thinking about this after I stopped recording. Actually, I wanted to go back and just take a second look at the numbers. And so if we actually throw out that first run of 30.4 mile an hour top speed, which I think is definitely high, but considering I was fresh, it was the first run, I think that one should have been a little bit higher regardless. But if we completely throw it out altogether and just average the 2 remaining speeds of 25.3 and 23.6 mile an hour top speeds with the double push, that averages out to a mile an hour top speed of 24.5 miles an hour, which compared to the normal push is about 9% faster. And so take that for what you will. Just wanted to include that before I upload the video. And I could tell just like with the normal push, it felt like I was kind of like just spinning my wheels. It felt like I wanted to shift into a higher gear like on a bike, but I couldn't. And it felt like on the double push, I was really able to open up since my kind of wheels were able to stay in contact with the ground longer and really cover more ground and transfer that to the ground, creating more speed. And so I could tell it just felt a lot more powerful and just a lot better, right? A lot more efficient. So anyway, that's my findings. Take that with what you will. I'm not the best double pusher in the world. And I think if I was to actually refine my technique and actually, you know, if there's anyone watching that has any critiques on my double push technique that you saw, I would love some feedback because again, I'm not a speed skater, but I'm having a lot of fun skating these big wheels and kind of learning new stuff. So anyway, I hope you found value in the video. Consider subscribing to the channel if you do like the content. Give the video a thumbs up and ring that bell. So with that, rollerbooters, we'll see you next time. Take care. Which one of these videos looks more interesting to you? This one or this one? Click one to support the channel and to support rollerblading, and I'll see you there.